Hi guys, hope you're doing good and I'm back with another video. Today's video is really special because this is a chapter-wise weightage analysis for the entire subject of audit. Now you know audit is a wide subject having so many chapters, so many standards, and with the introduction of MCQs, the game has completely changed. If you're still wondering how to prepare for the 70 marks other than the MCQs, first let me tell you it's not 70, it's 90 including choice. So the examiner has a lot of scope to ask you questions for 90 marks, and that is exactly why the analysis is being done based on the last two papers. I've put up this analysis. Yes, use this analysis as a guide. Don't take it as a final version and say these are the only marks that are going to come. You can see there marks waver around every attempt. So yes, if you haven't watched the preparation video as yet, I first suggest that you go there and watch that. Now you can see that link popping up on screen. You can go to that video where I've split the entire syllabus into 4 parts and I've given you a preparation plan. Once you finish that, on top of it, also use this video to understand the analysis. Now I've broken this video into 2 parts. The first part will cover for the new syllabus people. Whoever are you from new syllabus, you can continue watching this, and the ones who are from the old syllabus, you can straight away jump to the timeline that's there in the description. Let's get started. Okay guys, so let's first start with the new syllabus. And the new syllabus was introduced in May 2018, but May 18, November 18, though I'm going to show you the marks, I'm not going to really include those in our discussion because the MCQ pattern has been introduced of late. So you can see both. I've made an analysis of both, but I'm not going to consider those 2 papers for our in-depth analysis because those papers were for 125 marks, but there is a learning point from that. That is why I've put this up. So we will definitely come down to that. Now if you are seeing there 14 chapters have been classified. I know some of you might be following the institute study module, some of you might be following a coaching institutions material and vice versa, author books and all that. So in order to avoid tensions of what these 14 are, I have very clearly gone by easy nomenclature. You can see there with chapter names and contents we are discussing. Now if you haven't watched our syllabus preparation video, first go and watch it because there I have broken down the entire syllabus into 4 parts and explained clearly why audit has to be studied in that manner. So preparation plans you study from there, and once you've done that, you can come here and analyze the weightage. So let us have this quick understanding of what we are supposed to do in terms of our entire marking pattern. Now if you see in the last 2 attempts, the question paper is for 90 marks. Most people are still thinking that 70 marks only is descriptive portion. Including choice, the question paper is for 90 marks. So still the possibility of asking you descriptive questions are for 90 marks. Now that's a huge spread. So you need to be very thorough with understanding what are all the various parts of our syllabus that we need to be really thorough with. So otherwise it can create a little bit of problem later for you. So let us first start with trying to understand what exactly is our first lot. So this first lot here is in green that you're seeing, from introduction of auditing to analytical review procedures. If you see the list of standards covered there, standard number 210, which starts with engagement of the auditor and goes up till standard number 520, which is on analytical procedures, right? So third chapter. Now obviously it's lengthy because the number of standards covered you can see from 230, 330. Yeah, let me clarify this once again. New syllabus students, whoever are thinking that 330 has been excluded in the list of standards, yes, you will find standard number 330 in the list of exclusions, but what you also have to understand is a follow-up notification came in where they said concepts of substantive procedures, compliance procedures, wherever in the syllabus reference to standard 330 is there, those parts continue to be there in the syllabus. So why do you want to take a chance? Don't ignore anything in chapter 3. Please focus that also. It is not going to take a lot of time doing all that, and very much it is part of all the syllabus. So that is exactly why you see chapter 3 having their high weightage. So once chapter 5 on fraud, they didn't ask a question once, but they did ask about misappropriation of assets, which is a 3 marks, you can see there. And then also going by the small chapters. So fraud, audit sampling and analytical procedures, you can finish them faster. Chapters 1, 2, 3, you have to put your utmost focus and attention. In chapter 4, the concept of internal audit was obviously asked in true or false sometimes, or the limits are there, section 138, so that can be asked. Though you see only 2 marks and 5 marks being asked here, that's not the trend generally. It can slightly go up by another question as well. But what you can actually rely upon are the numbers from the bunch overall. You can see there an average of 25 to 45 marks is there, and if you take the average here, it will roughly be around 36 marks, which is pretty much in the range. So 25 being the lower side, to 45 being the higher side, you can definitely expect, because one attempt you can see they went a little high on company audit in June 19, but there was very less number of, only one true or false came in from company audit down there, but lots of questions came in MCQs is what I was informed. So again, trends don't indicate that every time it will be the same. This is generally not a 2 marks chapter at all, but in the November 19 attempt, lot of questions came from chapters 2 and 3. You can see that range, it went up to 23 marks. That is why a little less here, 2 plus 6, but I'm sure a lot of MCQs have come and it can always bounce back. It is showing just in the previous attempt, it was a 15 marks. So company audit is anywhere between an 8 to 14 marks chapter, never ignore that. And chapter 11 that you are seeing here, out of these 5 marks and out of these 6 marks, definitely 3 marks are from Caro. Okay, Caro 2016 is applicable to your attempt, so do not ignore that. There's a definite question in the question paper from there. So first finish off chapters 1 to 8, that's your first lot, excluding chapter 6. Then finish 10 and 11, which contains sections 139 to 148, concepts of audit reporting, that is all 4 standards of 7 series, plus company auditor's report order. Then a reading exercise is there when it comes to chapter 9 and 13. First you can take off 13, special audits. You can see there is an average weightage of 12 marks. Compulsorily you are going to get each chapter ranging between 10 to 12 marks. I did mention in this classes, but also having said that, you can't by heart all of that content. There is a video which talks about preparation techniques for both those chapters. I have also given that in our revision playlist for audit. Okay, and then towards the end, audit of banks has a range between 6 to 12 marks anytime. So once they asked 2 questions, that is why did I give you 10 marks here. You can see there is a choice internally. So 2 4 marks question were given as an internal choice. So that's up to you, but that chapter anywhere has a range between 6 to 10 marks always. And audit in computerized environment, maybe a true or false, a 3 marks question. 1 short question is definite. 5 or 6 questions are only there in the chapter, so nothing to actually worry. And last part are a few standards that are not getting covered in the other chapters, but still are to be studied, are those that I have classified as 14, all the miscellaneous standards. One more time a question came from 299, is a very important standard, and in the last attempt again, 1 question from 299 and also 1 question from 710 has come about comparative financial statements. So again, an average of it depends. These 2 attempts are not a real indicator there, because in that last lot sometimes it can go a little high up. So be really go by the ranges, but these are pretty much the range. If you are very thorough with the first and second block, you are in a very, very comfortable position, because lots of possibilities of MCQs are also there. So out of the 30 marks, 25 marks MCQs definitely can come from the green and blue block. Okay, so barring this, because they can't ask you many MCQs from vouching verification and special audits. Okay, so many MCQs will come from the first, second and the fourth block, where some standards that we didn't touch, they might ask MCQs over there. So prioritize in that order. Last 2 attempts papers you definitely have to solve June and November. Okay, and suggested answers are very much available. Either you can reach out to the institute side or you can go to my Instagram page. There also the suggested answers are very much available. I think I can give you the links of suggested answers to June and November papers in this video in the description itself. I will make sure that you get the suggested answers, and I think you should practice at least 2 attempts back home, and that preparation is very much essential. Okay, so that's the idea with respect to the new syllabus, and now we will move on to the old syllabus. Now let's do the old syllabus, and we have MCQs introduced from the May 19 attempt. So May 19 and November 19, I am considering only those 2 papers for our discussion, and we will see how the pattern is when it comes to the 90 marks of questioning, because you do have 30 marks MCQs. Now a lot of people here believe that question paper is for 100 marks, 30 marks MCQs will come. If I am bothered about my balance 70, it's very much enough. No, first of all you need to clear that misconception, because it's not 70, it's 90, and you can see that very clearly. There's a pretty clear distribution of this, and irrespective of whichever book you use, I'm going to classify. These are very clearly given with the contents. So if you see this chunk of the first 4, very very important, because roughly around 30 to 45 mark range is already there in that, and that constitutes to a big deal. 30 to 45 marks, I'm talking only about descriptive part. There is a lot of possibility that so many MCQs can also come from that lot. Introduction, you can see here, always basic questions. Most people ignore that chapter, shouldn't do that. I've already described in my previous video. If you haven't watched that video on preparation plan for audit, please go watch that video. It's called the study preparation plan for audit. We break the syllabus into 4 parts like this, and clear explanation of how to score 60 also has been given. Now we are analyzing it with marks in little more detailed sense. So third chapter being a very lengthy one, third and fourth, they have lot of content in them. Not that they are only important, others or not, they have lot of content in them. Here very less content is there in second chapter, that's why 1 odd question only can come from planning. But if you see lots of questions always, this is your core area, because in chapter 4 you have internal control, you have internal audit, and you also even have EDP audit also in that only. So definitely EDP audit alone can be for 3 marks, not more than that. You can see 3 to 5 marks, 1 question can come, maybe sometimes a true or false, 1 odd question in MCQ, that's all. The range can be anywhere between 3 to 5 marks for that EDP audit portion alone. But for that, all these standards, they have so much weightage. One attempt questions are juggling. Once they may ask external confirmation, sometimes they're asking written representation. So there is no constant pattern and questioning, but there is definitely marking patterns. Yeah, you can see they're almost 15, 16 and 12 to 18. So there is a hustle there over all the time. You will roughly can see that there is a total of 15 to 16 marks from those 2 chapters itself. First chapter looks basic, but yes, always 2 questions are there. True or false will come from that, because reasonable assurance, applicable financial reporting frameworks, terminology, then scope of the audit, these kind of small things which people don't kind of bother much. Those are the areas where you have to focus, because this 6 to 8 marks is not a joke. In an exam, every mark counts. Most people, like first chapter, okay, what will be their audit definition only, basics, they'll leave. No, that's where you have to study and go. Premise on which the audit is conducted, standard number 210, the preconditions to the audit, 200, all the terminology, it's very important. And 5 series, so there are no excuses. So in your preparation also, first try and target this lot, because that is a very scoring lot. And here itself you can see that is roughly around 40 marks range is there, plus MCQs. You can minimum expect around 10 to 12 marks from MCQs also from these chapters. So this 30 plus 40, 30-45 range, plus it will easily give you another 12 marks on a higher side is what I am budgeting, because so much potential is there. Though here you see vouching, verification and special audits, there is no much of a possibility for MCQs. Maybe 1 odd question from government audit here and there can come, but otherwise these are very procedural aspects. So somebody asking you questions there won't be bigger of a challenge. But where there will be interesting aspects are questions in MCQs can be twisted, trained in these two blocks. Questions from company audit, wherein time limits, forms, form ADT1, ADT2, which one has to be filed. So MCQs, twisting and turning also is possible in these two lots. So this one, the second one, be thorough with Caro. Definite questions are coming in your question paper in Caro. I have seen at least in these two attempts they have come. So there can always be a question from that. 139. So this anywhere between 6 to 10 marks range is always there. Yeah, 6 to 10 marks. One question, one true or false, maybe two questions sometimes. And company audit 2, which talks about again all your fundamentals of accounting, company accounting. Section 128 books of accounts to section 138 on internal audit, that lot, plus 52, 53, 54 on premium, discounts with equity shares. This chapter, though has been omitted in the new syllabus, it is very much part of your old syllabus and it plays a great role. So I think you should put all your efforts to kind of focus and maximize your attention giving on this chapter also. Okay, and then vouching and verification, there is nothing much to really worry about. I have made a revision playlist in this very channel of mine. You can go there and see audit revision. In that there is a video which suffices the requirement of how to write vouching, verification and special audits. I will obviously leave the link of that also in the description, so you can go through that video. It's a very crisp video which explains on how you can go about with these three chapters, and that should save a big deal because as I told you, an average range of 20 to 30 marks are there in that, irrespective of whether you like it or not. It's theory writing, but it's pretty scoring also. Sometimes if you know what exactly to write, so that video is going to be of great help. Check out in the description how to answer questions from vouching, verification and special audit video. Don't miss that. Then balance all standards which are not covered in the earlier chapters. Give it a glance to the end. Okay, see these marks may be misleading. Questions only coming for 3 or 4 marks in every attempt. Yeah, the range is around that only, 8 to 15 on a higher side, but still these are quite misleading here. I don't think 3 and 4, because in those two attempts it came like that. Maybe MCQs might have come from them. So first you finish off all the parts. This should not take much time. This I guided very clearly in that video, so you can see how to do that, and then do focus on these standards. Don't miss them, right? Because a lot of people are, it's a small portion, only one odd question will come. I am not a fan of selective study, so I won't suggest you, but I have given you a clear picture now with the marks. Make sure that you make the most of it. And also a quick suggestion here is to please sit back home and do a mock exam for yourself in this situation. I don't know whether you can go out and write and all. So make sure that you sit back home and write last 2 attempt papers, that is both June and November. Suggested answers, I will again share the link of suggested answers in this description itself. So please download them and keep it with you, and whenever you write these 2 papers, that's enough, more than enough. Do the entire preparation, do your revisions, write these past 2 exam question papers, and I'm pretty sure you will have a great confidence in the subject. And all of you out there who are doing only one group, that is only your second group, you have ample amount of time. I definitely suggest you do both these papers. If possible, you may do one more. If that's not, I'm still asking you to do only these 2 papers, plus do the entire revision properly. I think that will be more than enough for you guys to qualify. And those of you writing 2 groups, if you have time constraints, I guess you should not, if you have planned properly, make sure that you write at least 1 paper, if not for 2. Try writing 2, if not at least do 1. You will see the kind of confidence that you have will be quite different from what you have from the past. I know you're from the old syllabus, don't want to continue anymore and finish it once and for all and close this. So yeah, just try this time. Don't write any more attempts, write 2 attempts back home itself. So solve the last 2 papers, and I hope you will come out with good marks. So thanks for watching, guys, and you know what you're supposed to do. If you're watching for the first time, just do subscribe, because there's a lot more stuff coming up, and if you feel that there is some good content worth sharing it to your friends, also don't forget to share. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.